Roger, go for deploy.
On the mission station at Middle Beach Performance Center, please give a warm welcome for the Spaniard.
Zoom tight. That's all I got.
Hola, amigos. Hola.
He's got the beard to say.
I am the Spaniard. Yes. And my pronouns are guapo. It's sexy. And I'm a coitus connoisseur. I have a name for it. It's called a connoisseur. And yes, I come from a long line of Latin lovers, lofty varieties, others. Yes. I'm just fucking with you guys. I don't normally talk like this, right? But it helps. Let me tell you, it helps. It really does.
I was going to give you my phone number.
You should have, man. Because when I say shit in Spanish, shit just fucking happens, man. Let me tell you. But I do have a medical condition that you guys should be aware of, okay? Because it does involve you guys. I have a sexual thought every 1.76 seconds. So like my train of thought. I have a sexual thought every 1.76 seconds. So, yeah. Luckily for me, I was able to cross paths with a woman who is just as brave and I don't know, maybe crazy as I am to put up with my crazy ass shit, right? Because, well, here's the thing. She's a screamer. My wife is a screamer. Not the kind of way you think, but let me explain. I'm the kind of fucking asshole that when my wife is happy, I try to fucking ruin her day, right? Let me give you an example. When I say she's a screamer, I mean it in a way where when she sings a song that she knows the words to, she screams the lyrics, right? Who's ours? Steve Miller Band. You guys familiar with Steve Miller Band? Right?
Yeah.
Right? You know, Jet Atlanta, you guys are familiar with that song? Who's ours?
The white people do.
Right, the white people, for the white people, Jet Atlanta, right? It kind of goes something like this, right? Because Jet Atlanta, don't be too far away. I am a lover, not a fighter. So I am not going to sing anymore. But my version is a little bit different. 2, 3, 4. She's got a big old hairy vagina. I gotta trim that shit every day. Now, those were clippers. Yes. I dropped out of beauty school twice, so I know what the fuck I'm talking about. Okay. Any of you guys still go to church? Anybody still go to church around here? Yeah. Shop? Nobody goes to church anymore? Good. I think it's a fucking waste of time anyway. That's going to be in my Netflix 1 hour special, so you can hear all about that later. But I grew up in the Catholic Church. I grew up Catholic. And this next story is going to tell you how I got out of going to church for the rest of my life. Okay? So this goes back 10, 15 years ago. I was in Catholic church. My kids were fucking little. You know, I had to go to church because my wife wanted to. And it must have been Easter's, because the fucking place was packed, right? I'm talking fucking thick. Wall to wall fucking people. So I'm sitting there in fucking church. And I'm already hungover. I had no intention of wanting to be there. So I'm zoning off, man. I'm thinking of something else. I'm thinking of titties. I'm thinking of a lot of shit, and then I remember one fucking story. And you know how in church, how it's really quiet, they say, let us give thanks, or let us take a moment of silence for those who have passed. Well, it was during that time that I let out this fucking loud-ass laugh, because I was thinking about the story. And you know how you think about a story like you're in a meeting, or like you're in a classroom, and you chuckle a little bit. You have to kind of contain your composure a little bit, and make sure nobody was looking at you. Well, I was in church, and I'm fucking laughing out loud at this fucking story. And my wife's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? And I said, it's the Bowman altar boy story. And she's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So all right, let me tell you about it real quick. So I was explaining to my wife about the Bowman altar boy story. This is when I was about 11 or 12 years old. I go to my friend Billy's house. He's having a sleepover. And ladies and gentlemen, this was the first time I was introduced to the most influential piece of literature known to man. Do you guys know what that piece of literature was?
No, what is it?
Not the Bible, okay? It wasn't the Bible. It wasn't the Graves of Rats. It was Hustler Magazine. Hustler Magazine was the most influential fucking piece of literature at 12 years old that I've seen in my life. Because it was that day, ladies and gentlemen, that I saw in fucking color, full color, what a blowjob really was. The way the big fucking, because this was the 80s, right? My friend Billy spoke into his buddy's porn stash, and it was 80s magazines. Hustlers, you know, they had the big fucking hair and everything. But this was, it was a bush. The way she was grabbing that dick, man, she was grabbing that dick, her lips were all fucking shiny, kind of like yours a little bit, but not that, they were beautiful, beautiful lips, right? So, well, I get to church, I find out I forgot my fucking pants, right? So luckily for me, I figured I'm an altar boy, I can wear a long ass robe. They're not gonna see my pants, I'm wearing jogging pants. At communion, everybody feels communion those wafers, right? So I'm the altar boy, I got that fucking bowl of wafers, right? And I'm looking at all these women, it must have been fucking ladies' night at Easter's. And all these women are wearing these fucking fine ass fucking dresses. Easter's, man, Easter Sundays, these women are lined up ready for communion, and I swear it was like slow motion. These chicks were coming up to the priest, their heads going back, their mouths are open, right? And I'm in fucking heaven, right? I'm holding that fucking bowl of fucking communion wafers, and I'm thinking of that fucking picture I saw the night before. And it must have been ladies, like I said, it was nothing but fucking wall-to-wall women. And about 4 ladies in, I noticed the music stopped. I look up at the priest. He looks down at me with this fucking disgusted look in my face. I look around the crowd, they're fucking in shock. I look down, and I got this big fucking hard on, man, fucking size of Jared. I'm like, holy shit! Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the last, that ended my fucking altar boy career. That was ended right there. But see, here's the cool thing. I was telling my wife about that story, and I was getting hard telling her about it. So I said, honey, it's showtime, man. Communion's about to go. Let's go. She got her fucking bags and out the door we went. That was the last time I ever went to fucking church, man. That was it. I understand it. One last thing before I go. When in doubt, make love. I understand it. Ciao.